What's up, you sexy bastards? Oy vey, happy Friday. I'm warming up slowly, but honestly, seeing all you guys here made my morning. This made my morning. Good to see you, RJ. Anna is here. Tynan is here in spirit. Aloha, brada. Niels is here. Good to see you, dude. What is up, underdogs? We have a special roast of the day. I don't know if Dan's gonna like it, but Dan's here. I'm glad you showed up. Sean Park, yes. What up, man? I'm warming up slowly, so hope y'all are a little more lit than me. You can bring the fire. RJ Youngling, what up, man? William McConnell. I feel like every time I say William McConnell, I think you're in the Navy. I'm like, all right, William, I'll see you, sir. Good pillows are underrated, my friend. Rochester, what is up, Kevin? I had a little bit of wine last night, man. Just kidding, I had a lot. No, I just had 2 glasses. Who else is in the house? Sherman, what is up, man? Andy, Dieter, from Germany, all the way from Germany. Good to see you, my man. All right, it's Friday. Sherman's here. Niels is here. Philip made it. You can't handle the truth. If you're under 25, you probably don't know what that means. Alan Jones. Dan Bennett. Can't wait. Are you sure, Dan? I see you in the green room. We'll see. All right. We got a show. I got about an hour today. You guys know how we start every single show. If you are new here, wow. You parked and you're in your car just to be a part of the office hours. Holy shit. All right. That's a big deal. Thanks, Anna. Good to see you. H. Williams, Golden Gate Park. Hell yeah. My hometown. That's awesome. You're in the park. I wish I could see you in the park. Take a photo of yourself. Send it over to me. I want to see you watching in the park. What is up, Bruce? If this is your first show, evening, good morning. Julia, pleasure. Oh, Amsterdam. I love it. I think that's one of the best cities in the world. So what is up, TPR? Ruben, Evan Hill. If you are new here, put a 1 in the comments. That's how we do it. You guys are probably, some of you are familiar with this. There's a lot of repeat people that are, I've seen a bunch of times. I love seeing that. So if you're a first timer here, throw that 1 in the comment. And if you're a returner, you know what to do. Turks and Caicos, holy crap. If you're new here, Harry is new. What up, Harry? Dylan Jordan, what is up, dude? Turks and Caicos, I've heard that's a really fun place. Has anybody ever been there, except the person who lives there? David Heck, Joseph Miller, new to the channel, welcome. First and second time, Jim Jacobs, a lot of new people. Dieter, Philadelphia. I get it. Marcel, it is so good to see you. I'm getting pumped up now seeing all you people. If you're a returner, this is not your first office hours. Throw a yeehaw in the comments. You guys know what to do. Man, you guys are from all over the world. So cool. I didn't even ask where you're from in the world, but it is exciting to see you. Right now, I am in Rockwell, Texas. Repping the 508. Got 2 dogs in the background. Let's see if we can see them. Bill Cousins is here. What's up, Bill? Ruben is here. If you're a returner, let's see if we can see the dogs. Not the water bottle. It's Maddie. No, Fergie, Maddie. One of those 2. I might have gotten it backwards. So it is so good to see all of you people. We have a good show, a great show today. Happy Friday, Shabbat Shalom, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to all the new people, Jason, and welcome to all the returners. It is really great to see every single one of them, every single one of you. So what we're going to do in the show today, we're going to do our standard agenda. We're going to do a roast. So Dan, a week ago, said, hey, man, I'm doing YouTube. I'm going to be famous. I don't know what Dan's goal is, but Dan said, hey, can you come insult one of my videos? So all of us collectively are going to shit on Dan because he's really into weird fetishes like that. So we're going to give Dan what he wants today. But no, we're going to do it in a constructive way. So if you're working on any type of content, if you're working on any type of business, this will be a fun experiment for you because we're going to do it collectively to talk about some feedback we can give Dan on one of his videos. So everyone is new here. What am I saying? Not everyone is new here. But it is good to see Tony and all you guys. So what I want to do first, we're going to talk about 2 things first. Number 1, what is your win of the week? I woke up just kind of like, ugh, maybe it's being in Dallas. You know the worst part about Dallas? Dallas. So if you guys have some wins of the week, And Dan, you got your nice emoji. But what I'd love to see is what is one thing great that happened to you this week? I would say I had a really good bike ride and bonding moment with my brother. That was definitely my win of the week. So please post in the comments yours win of the week. And then we'll go over one topic. Then we're going to go on Dan, and then we're going to open up. This today and this Friday, I wanted to have a little bit less structured, and I want to have a lot of open time for all of your questions. So whatever's going on up here, here, wherever in the world, I'd love to talk about it with you. So win of the week. All right, so post your wins of the week. One thing. Holy crap. So Niels Koppelman, sticking with his new morning routine. Awesome. Evan Hill. Hold on, where's Evan Hill, dude? He bought a house. Wow, nice, man. Managed to put our MVP. Yeehaw, hell yeah. Waker won. Harry did soccer. Sweet. So Emmanuel sold a home. Nice, man. That's awesome. Hopefully you sold the house for Evan Hill. Marcel Monopoly started reading a book. You never reads and continue to do it every day. Awesome. Man, you guys had a lot of wins. This is really pumping me up. Had 2 great job interviews. Good luck, David. No alarm clock. Distracted Dave. I hear you on that, my man. Rui. Yes. Bald guys with beards. I needed more of those today because there's not enough, even though we have one coming on the show. Dude, Sean Park, 5,000 unique downloads on his podcast. I'm going to do, this is what my little nephew does. Darren McDonald had his 30th and 40th birthday in Dallas. Was pretty blah. If you have something negative to say about Dallas, let me know, because that's where I'm at right now before I go back home to Austin. I started using Best Self Journal and no alarm clock. Yes, I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about that, but the founder of Strava told me that a great life to him is not having an alarm clock. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Dude, Anna, that stuff's tough, but good on you. And improve the relationship. Awesome. I'm glad that you broke through that barrier. Shout out, please. All right, Sojum, he got a shout out. That's his win of the week. What other highlights of your week? Dude, awesome. I've heard Chattanooga. I'm going to try to hit that up next year. But you guys went to an Airbnb in Chattanooga. Amazing times. Yes, more wins of the week. This is great. My therapy video. I'm glad, man. I had therapy on Tuesday. I was like, yo, this sucked. And then I had another different session yesterday, and I was like, this is great. It sounds like life. What else? Dude, you guys had some great wins of the week. Got to ask to sponsor my YouTube channel. Jason Brett. Hells yes. I'll tell you another one of the week. I got coffee and a donut this morning. She gave me 2 donuts. I don't know if I paid for 2, but I'm just going to assume she meant to give me 1. I paid for 1, but she gave me 2 as a nice act of kindness. So, oh yeah, Dieter, you met one of the other underdogs. That's so awesome. So one of my favorite things is if you guys can actually connect and help each other out, like we're going to do with Dan and his videos, his video today. If you guys, by the way, are not subscribed and hit the notification bell, I'm just going to put it right here, youtube.com/okdork. Just go do it. You know what to do. All right, so those are the wins of the week. Man, that was a great-ass week. All right, so before we go into Dan, we're going to bring on Dan in just a moment, and then we're going to talk about whatever questions you guys have about business, life, whatever you have. We'll talk about it. Here's my thought of the week. My mom and brother are in the medical field. Does anyone here have family in the medical field, like nurses, doctors, EMT, techs, assistants? I think what's interesting is to be a doctor, you have to like study a lot, and then you have to take this test, and you have to do this. It's like, and then you have to get a certificate. It's like, you are now a doctor. And I think what's really fascinating, you love the energy. It's wild because my energy is not even as high as I'd like it to be. But what's fascinating about the doctor part is that my mom, and I love my mom. You have to say that whenever you want to criticize someone. What I found fascinating, what I want to talk about from that today for you guys and for myself is that my mom, and if you're in the medical field, you kind of believe to have success, you need permission. Stay with me here. Look, I even unbuttoned 2 of them today just for you guys. So I found it really fascinating that some people believe like when Tim Ferriss and I became friends about, I don't know, whatever, 15 years ago, she was like, who is this guy? Who gives him permission to be an expert on life, lifestyle design, or productivity? Ramit Sethi in finance, Noah Kagan starts. And there's some people that believe you need permission to have a YouTube channel that talks about fitness. And so my mom is like, your brother is a doctor, and why are these people? So another example is my buddy Adam Gilbert, who's a health coach on mybodytutor.com. He's one of my best friends. And my mom's like, well, he's not a doctor. Your brother's a doctor. He's got permission. And times are changing. Oh, stream looks pixelated. The Wi-Fi, I think where I'm at, no good. But you guys can hear me? Dan, can you hear me? Yeah, all right. So it's still pixelated, but you can hear the content, so it's good. So the point that I want you to think about is, what gave Adam Gilbert the permission to be a body tutor? Did he go to body tutoring school? What about Tim Ferriss to be a lifestyle productivity? Or my buddy Justin Mayers, who runs Kettle and Fire. Kettle and Fire's bone broth soups. Or Noah Kagan to make videos about startups and marketing. And I just thought that was really fascinating. I want you guys to think about where you don't need permission. I'm not even here to talk about imposter syndrome and all that kind of bullshit. All I'm saying is that if you want to be an expert in marketing, if you want to be an expert in Tibetan living, if you want to be an expert in dog walking, just go fucking do it. You don't need permission. And I thought that was really powerful. It's like, if you want to be, like, if Dan, who's we're going to bring on in just a moment, wants to be an expert in whatever topics he talks about, go fucking do it. You don't need permission. So I kind of want to just plant that seed. Last week we talked about why not you? And this week it's kind of saying you don't need permission to do whatever things you want. You want to be an expert in something? Just go be it. And how does someone become an expert? They get people results. I don't know why I did this face, but I did it. So I want you guys to just think about it. Yeah, make it happen. What's up, Andrew Kim? So for yourself, no permission needed. You want to be a health coach? You want to make YouTube videos about water? You want to start an entrepreneur business like a Shopify store? You don't need permission. You can just go do it. So that is my words of wisdom thought of the day. All right, now we're going to bring on, I wanted to talk about that. So here I get a sign. What's the sign? Is the sign, so this guy just said he got a sign. Is the sign the word gather? That's a sign. All right, so we're going to bring on Dan. Streaming quality improved a lot. My beard isn't blended into your nose now. I'm actually, one of my biggest pet peeves is nose hair, so I actually take offense to that, okay? So now we're bringing on Dan. What is up, Dan? Can everyone hear Dan?
Check, 1, 2. How you doing?
Great. Could you take off your hat so we could both be bald with beards? Do you mind joining me on the bald beard club? Oh, God, you're a good dude.
Thanks, man. My head's round. That's all I worried about back in the day.
But then once you went bald, you just there's no... Bald is beautiful, man. You look good, dude. I think if you shaved your beard too, you could do modeling.
I don't know what I would model, but I'll take the paycheck.
I could see you modeling for Home Depot, dude.
I would do that. That could be fun.
All right. So otherwise we're going to goof off for the whole time, which we should. Because I have had a thought this week that most of work should just be a goof off, meaning you should wake up being like, man, I'd like to just do this today. And you're like, wow, I can't believe I get paid for that.
Yeah.
I think that's that's my dream for everyone out there. Can you give the not even 1 minute too long, 30-second background, who you are and what you're trying to do, and then we'll jump into your video?
Yeah. 30-second background. So video has been a huge part of what I do. Just had to close down a firm after 6 years of essentially creating story and content for clients. And I'm kind of freelancing now, trying to find my way, start some new stuff, and discovered you and was like, he's talking about how to start new stuff. So I figured I would throw it all on the table and bug you a little bit and see if I could get your attention.
Sweet. And so because I think a lot of times what I love having the audience come on, because it's cool to meet you. I think it makes it relatable. Like, oh, he's like me, she's like me, and they're going through similar things. How are they going through it so I can copy it? And so you were doing content marketing video for clients?
Yep. For the last 6 years, had some ups and downs, some wins, and I hate being the 1,200,000 person to say it, but COVID got us. And so I'm kind of back to where I began, which is freelancing, creating story for people through digital media.
And what's your dream with the YouTube? So that's what we're going to go over today. So for anyone who's thinking about making YouTube content, I think this is going to be really entertaining. and more entertaining and productive. But what's your dream with it?
So essentially, I've been on YouTube for like 11 years, but it's always just been like an archive or a place that held videos for me, or a place where I put videos so then they could be embedded in websites for clients, all that fun stuff. But I never put out content on purpose on the platform, so it's searchable and maybe could help some people out. So really, that's what I'm after is, instead of putting out a bunch of content on all the platforms and it never landing on YouTube, why not put it there first and then spread it out from there? And it's been about 40 days so far, and I'm having a blast because I'm having fun with it instead of trying to make money.
I will say making money is fun.
Right.
If it's fun and you make money, like that's like the ultimate win. So what's your dream with the YouTube stuff right now?
Because I love empowerment and education, it would be to grow an audience that at least creates enough of an income to sustain the production and allow me to create even more stuff. So that's kind of number one. Number two is to do what I love, because I just spent 6 years doing what everyone else wanted because they paid me well. And now I want to do what I love.
Hell yeah, man. Just out of curiosity, and by the way, the questions I ask, I think are the questions I would hope that everyone is thinking about for themselves. Because a lot of times people are like, I want to do Shopify, or I'd like to do YouTube, or I'd like to do a software business. The way it's funny. I was thinking about it this week in my therapy session, as I mentioned earlier. He was like, "What was your goal when I started AppSumo?" And so I think for you, I'm curious, like, how much do you need a month specifically to sustain?
Yeah, I think if I was right around 2K, that would be really baseline. It would take care of everything. And because I am a professional in video production and all those things, I have the gear, I have the knowledge, I don't have to hire other people. I can get a ton done for a little bit of money. So the money would really be for sustenance, marketing, and of course, a little bit of the production costs.
Plus your wife,
girlfriend, kids, food, roof,
water, living, all that good stuff. All right, so I don't want to spend as much. We can do that more later in the show if people are also curious about it. What I'd like to do is, what we're going to do, everyone, is I'm going to share Dan's video. We're all going to collectively watch it. Everyone, me, Dan, you, and then we're gonna go over it. And I'm gonna just see what we can learn, because I think there'll be stuff that we can all learn. All right, so I'm gonna bring up Dan's video. This is Dan's video. That background looks familiar. So this video that he picked is called "A New Way to Think Outside the Box." So I'm gonna post the URL in the comments. So I would love everyone to participate. This is gonna be dope. All right, so I just posted in the comments. It's called "A New Way to Think Outside the Box" by the Antipreneur. Are the comments working? I don't know if my internet's crappy. No, everyone, okay. People are kind of like, whoa, what's happening here? All right, so I'm gonna start playing the video, and then I'm gonna pause it as we go along. And what I'd love is as you're watching the video yourself, leave comments about, so the two ways that I like structuring it with our team. It works? Okay. Number one, what do you love about the video? And number two, what do you want to improve? So I have my notes here about some of the things that I like and things I want to improve, but let's go through it together. His shirt is scaring me. All right, let's jump right in.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Dan Bennett,
All right. So Dan, have you looked at some of your metrics on these videos?
A little bit. But they're so new, as far as like I've only been putting them out a little while, that there's not a lot to see. But I have been looking. This is one of the better performing ones so far. Okay,
so I'm just gonna, as we go. So number one, the title "New Way to Think Outside the Box," for me, it doesn't do much for me. So I guess one question that Jeremy on our team does really, really well is who's the audience you're trying to build? Who's the audience that you're trying to attract?
Yeah, this particular one's like a business development video. So anyone who is a business owner or a head of a team within a business trying to streamline their work or think outside the box.
What's an example that makes it more like sexy, that like if I thought about thinking outside the box, that I'd be excited to click on this? Like, what do I actually get out of this video?
As far as title?
Yeah.
Essentially, the whole Antipreneur standpoint is to a lot of times do things 180 from the way they're already being done or being said they should be done. And so I take as close as I can get most of the time, I take a 180 approach to what gurus and shiny new thing type people are saying.
Okay, so is there another way you could, so why I'm actually picking on this a little bit more is that I think the title and thumbnail is where most people spend the least time, and it's actually probably where people need to spend the most time.
Yeah, I did spend a good amount of time on it here because I spent 10 years never caring about that. And I realize now it's a very important part of it. So I totally agree. I did a little bit of like keyword research before I landed on that title, but it was only about a half an hour's worth of work total.
Okay. The title is okay. I think the thumbnail as well. We can go over that in just a second. But in terms of this, I don't know, but let me check out the comments, what everyone's saying. So what people are saying is that his shirt is scaring me. People I love the background. I think the background looks, the thing with the background looks awesome. It looks like kind of like the traditional YouTube the official YouTube background. Like everyone's got the light colors and the cool thing. I'm like, where is everyone working and living? Like I need to get to these houses. Okay, so I think the title for me, I think if it works for you and it works for your audience, it's great. We do a lot when we come up with every video. It's like probably like 10 to 15. That sounds like something you did for this video. Let's keep going.
Entrepreneur, and this is another business development or biz dev video.
All right, so a few things. So it's now 7 seconds. About 20 to 30% of your audience drops off in the first 15 seconds. So one way to think about it, what have I gotten so far in the first 10 seconds?
My name and a scary t-shirt.
The t-shirt's cool. I mean, if you're trying to attract a certain audience, like you're into, goth chicks or goth guys, like that's hot. But I think my point that is if you actually go and watch, and what we can do maybe after this is let's go look at like Mr. Beast or someone who's like the top in YouTube. Their first 10 seconds is, I'll pull it up in the background and we'll go over it in a second. Their first 10 seconds, you're like, I can't wait to see what's next. I think a lot of us in our earlier videos, it was like, hi, I'm Noah Kagan. I worked here. I'm rich. I'm these things. And it's like, no one gives a fuck. And so I think you need to probably consider, how do you hook them immediately from the first 10 seconds of this video?
Yeah, totally agree.
And Casey said this. I feel the same way as Casey. She looks like a 1980s like rocker, doesn't she? But like thinking outside the box to me, I'm just like, I roll it when I hear that personally. But if you're trying to, the thing that you said is also interesting. You said your audience is like a biz dev person or they run a small business. Like
right.
I would maybe be a little bit more specific about who that is. Like, is it an agency? I don't know.
Yeah, generally they're micro businesses and they're individuals who run a company that's small and they are the decision maker. So they're looking for ways to find out about new, softwares that might help their business or little hacks, quick wins, stuff like that.
So I think for that, you might want to just be more specific. So does thinking outside the box get them more customers, or does it get them like to increase their revenue? Like, what does it actually get for them? Is it like if they're with a client, it's a new way to think about it?
For me, it's a starting point that makes sure you don't end up just doing the same exact thing all your competitors are doing. And it's funny because I love that says thinking outside the box is a bit of a turnoff, because it is for me too. And that's why my approach is attempting to be 180 from think outside the box as a cliche, but more so of like, let's do this in a new way that actually like gets you some traction.
Okay. So I like where you're going with it. I think a lot of the people kind of highlighting like in the first 10 seconds, what am I going to get? Someone says this, and I actually disagree a little bit. What's up, Cam? Good to see you. He actually updated his profile picture. He's got nice ears, just like me. So he said needs more energy. You need to just keep being yourself. And if yourself, as we're talking today, you're like, hey, I'm this. That's great. Embrace that. Don't fake it out and try to be Noah or try to be anyone that's not Dan. So I don't know about the energy part. I just say you have to like talk how you normally are. I notice for myself, if I'm doing a video and I'm not excited, it's like, all right, well, is it the content or is it just I need to take a break? But if that's how you normally want to talk about it, I'd say go for that. All right, let's keep going. So my point here is that you added this whole thingamajigger here. Cut. First like literally 20 seconds is everything, right? You've seen it on the retention curves. We can look over it on another video. All right, so we're still at 10 seconds. I haven't gotten anything yet.
So much for watching. Today we're going to tackle a topic that's been done a million times before.
All right, so it's almost 15 seconds, Dan. I still have not gotten anything. It's like I've gone to the restaurant and I'm still waiting to eat. They're like, give me the food. All right.
But I come at it in a little different way than most people do.
Okay, so it's 17. I think you're going to be like, oh yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like,
and that is thinking outside.
All right, so things I really like. I don't know. We'll keep going over the comments. Your background is awesome. The beard is dope. I think your text overlay stuff is really well done. I really like it. Looks super professional. For when you had your name on the beginning, that biz dev stuff, and then how to think outside the box here, I thought was really polished.
Out of the box. I know, like I said, it's been done a million times, but I think we're going to think outside of the box about how we think outside of the box. It'll make more sense in a minute. Stick around.
Okay, so why do I need to stick around? I'm already here.
It's a great question.
What am I sticking around for, dude? I'm already here. What do you so think about this? We're now 30 seconds in of a 3-minute video. So 10% of the video, and I'm still at 0.
Yes.
So you literally could have just cut this whole 30 seconds. So I'm hoping right now is when I've stuck around for is where we get something interesting. All right, let's try it. All right. So, and by the way, a little sweaty, dude. Like the eye right here.
Oh, you know what's funny is it's oil on my skin, and I usually do put this like matte makeup stuff on because the bags under my eyes always shine a little bit, and I didn't do it that day, and I got all done, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah, I think it's fine to leave it.
Good call.
Yeah, I think about a new way to think outside the box. Again, title. Some of the improvements. I would keep working on the title personally. That's me. But you can keep it. You don't try it out. I think, yeah. All right. So far we're still good. Well, not good, but these are some of the.
All right, the first thing I want to share with you guys is this is a process that I developed and I have used and implemented with tons of clients over the years. I've given.
All right. So still, I'm not even going to keep saying it because I'll get my point. Like you haven't told me anything. So here's something I've learned recently. When I'm doing a video or I'm trying to sell something or do something, I think it's really helpful when you say, I've helped clients. Let's just do an audience. Daniel, do this. I've helped a lot of clients. I've helped, there's a guy named John who runs a website named mathematics.com. And he had this very specific problem about his revenue was at $50 CPM. And I was trying to get his revenue to $60 CPM. And here's how he did it. So what I've noticed with my storytelling recently is like, I'm trying to give a lot of really specific details around the customer or something like, oh, it was a red Trek bicycle versus I went biking. I think certain things like that make people kind of buy more into the topics that you go over and just the stories that you sell. All right.
Talks on this in front of audiences at conferences, and it's something that
conferences, same thing here. Like you don't have to go forever. Like you want to get to the meat, but I think the part here is like, hey, I spoke at South by Southwest to 500 people and blah, 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 or this is what I got a result for as a customer.
I use in my own creative work every single day. So this new way of approaching how to think outside of the box, I like to call start outside of the box. And I'm going to give you an example now. This example is based on video production or creating a brand new video project with a client. But trust me, you can use this start outside of the box method with any kind of.
All right. So here's how I watch a lot of YouTube videos, Dan. I go to the HD, I go playback speed, I do 1.5 because this honestly is fucking taking forever. And like, if I didn't know you, like you have to realize this a lot. Like, oh, my friend's wife is home, so she's gonna say hi. 80% of the audience doesn't know you, or 90%. Uh-oh, dogs are going crazy. So most of the audience doesn't actually know you. Hi, Tracy. Oh, God, I was like, sorry, I'm just on a presentation. All right, we're back. Hey, Dan. We had some bikes falling and things like that. So I would play back your video, and most people don't know you. You kind of have to assume that like the larger your audience is, more and more people don't know.
The project or any kind of development that you're trying to accomplish. So the first thing I do literally is draw a box. Now we're going to take that box. We're going to put everything on the outside of it. No restrictions. You want Brad Pitt as your actor in your video? Boom. We can afford him. His schedule's clear. We got him. We want to film on Mars, like the planet? Boom. We can get everyone there. We have the budget to do it. No problem. You want explosions, big battleship, expensive vehicles inside of your video? No problem. We can get our hands on all that stuff, and we have no budget constrictions at all. Of course, there's going to be a couple miscellaneous items.
All right. So am I making a movie?
Well, that was the setup. Is I'm giving a video production representation of this, but you can use the same process for anything.
Okay, so you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what I've observed in our experience making these videos and things like that, which sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it sucks. The more tactical and that you can show something, the better the video. So I think this is good. I love the visual. I think everyone agrees that the visual looks cool. but is your potential audience like movie makers?
No, it was just a high level example.
But I think so. This is the part where like people go from, to me, in terms of the content quality, you're like, hey, I'm going to spend. So this is actually the content you're doing is like on the verge to me of really like, wow, there's something here. The 2 steps back on it is that you didn't start talking about till minute 30. 2, you're giving a very generic ass thing. You're like, hey, I'm going to show you how to make more. This is like literally 90% of people on YouTube. I'm going to show you how to get rich on Shopify. Oh, boom. Now look at the screenshot. I'm rich. I'm like, how'd you do it? Magic.
Right.
So I think the more that you can literally screenshot, like, hey, and then the video is, I am going to show your agency how to do your ads. I'm going to show you how to come up with more creative ads. I'm going to show you like it's a more specific thing, or it's a general one. Say, hey, if you're a business owner, I'm going to show you how to think, like just change your way of thinking, but then you're doing it about a movie.
Right.
So I think the more you can show a live example, like a real example of it, and then put one thing that I'm experimenting with where we are in our channel is that your end result, start the video with the end. So like, oh shit, like here's how this is how this thing happened. Let me show you the process to get there.
Right.
All right, let's keep watching.
In there, put everything outside of the box. When we've completed our list, when we've got the general sense of the kind of video we want to make without any kind of restrictions, that's when we go back through the list and we start bringing components inside the box that, well, for one reason or another, we have to bring back inside the box. It might be the constraints of the laws of physics. It might be the fact that we can't get humans to Mars quite yet.
How do you feel about this, Dan? How do you feel about this video?
Like in general?
Yeah, in general, and then now that we're talking, you're like having people. You're actually, because when people put out any content or anything, they don't really get to see the people watch it. They're just like, oh, look, 37 views.
Yeah. Well, if I could just give a couple quick things. The first is the glow, the layout, the da-da-da-da-da. That's also I would get started and not do it. So that's why it looks like everything that's out, because I based it on essentially everything that's out. So I would get started instead of trying to make it perfect before I got started. And then the next thing is, because like I said, I've been on YouTube forever, but not used it as a YouTuber. I've never paid attention to thumbnails, titles, and all that stuff. So watching it back even before today, I would change a lot of things. Essentially, rework it with this new knowledge. And I'm getting stuff today that's like gold. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, let's keep going.
It could be that Brad Pitt is vacationing in Europe and we can't get him on the phone. Whatever the case may be, budget constraints, location restraints, we bring those things back inside the box because, of course, we have to check in with reality and make sure that we can do the things that we're planning to do. And this is where the magic happens when it comes to thinking this way about thinking outside of the box. Once we've brought everything back in that has some sort of constraint connected to it that forces it.
I'm kind of losing you. I kind of started zoning out at that part. How did everyone else feel? Yeah, because like Philip said at this point, like, I don't really understand what Dan is talking about. So overall, I love your production. I like where you're going with it. I think if you just tighten it to like a specific use case, like here's how to do it with this, it's better for the potential audience, and it'd probably be easier for you than talking about things in abstract. Yeah, like Zach said it as well. Like, who is the audience? Aaron Kim said, "Okay, Dan." I like Aaron Kim. We can go. I'm guessing he's Korean. We can have some kimchi. Some like, dude, go to some barbecue together. One thing that's interesting, thank God, good editing skills. So Dan, one thing that's kind of interesting that we can talk about a little bit too is like your videos. There's a lot of different types of videos you do. And this is a kind of a thing I noticed a breakthrough with Trent from 2 weeks ago. I wonder if your topics are just too broad and too random.
Yeah, so, definitely in the high level and the broad department. This one was actually kind of a redo of a video I put out last year just on social media of this thought process, because I really do use it in my work. And
tell me a little bit more about that. When's the last time you used it, and like what happened?
Yeah, so I did a video for Mercury Marine, which is like a boat motor company, and they were putting together something to show in front of Congress to appeal for more research and development funds to come from the government to them. And instead of just showing all the cool machines and stuff, we actually interviewed people, pulled out story, found out how many people work there actually loved working there, and they weren't just doing it for the money. And we did all that through, okay, let's start outside of the box to begin with. What would we like this to do? What can we pull together And then everything inside the box, like location, budget, who could be on camera, went in, and everything else stayed out. And they loved some of those like ideas. So that was one of the last times.
All right. So by the way, was that not more like, I wouldn't say 10 times, but like 2 times more interesting than this video?
Right. No, I 100% agree. And the thing I was trying to accomplish with this was I literally do this, and I wanted people to know that I literally draw a box and I work outside of that box with the client and then physically put things back in it. Like it is a real just on paper process. And I was trying to show that it's literal.
So I think people are talking about the donut. By the way, I don't know, Dan, not for you, but like these are awesome ones. LMNT electrolytes, fire.
Nice.
So it seems like the story is a little bit more, and you kept talking about how you do your process. This is something that was really fascinating for me this week. We were talking about some of the upcoming content we're putting out. One of the guys on our team, Jeremy, was like, Noah, no one gives a fuck about you. I was like, what do you mean, Jeremy? I'm the star. I make videos. He's like, no one fucking cares. They care about themselves. How does this video help them? Because your fucking process, I don't give a shit about. I care if this like makes me more money, if this improves my relationship. So what does it actually do for the audience? So I think that's just something to be mindful of. And I like honestly the story. Like, hey, if you're making a video, here's a way to like come up with better scripts.
Right.
To be inside the box. That leaves everything else still outside of the box. Now, when applying this start outside the box approach, you not only end up with more things outside of the box, but you end up with better ideas, better innovation, and really an overall better product when you're finished. I have used this approach on so many tie together or simple. I think we overcomplicate so much of the creative work that we do and the business development work that
Is there music in the background?
we do.
A little bit.
All right, I like that. One other thing that people need to be mindful of, and Dan, I'm pretty obsessive about it, and I think we could be a lot better in our channel. Do you like look at over every second of the video?
Yes, when I'm done. Yeah, because I'm a filmmaker, so like I don't get to like get away from that or hand it to someone else. I'm going through everything before it goes out.
Yeah, so I think that's something that's good. I would be just even more like, especially this early on in these videos, like on YouTube, and now that it is competitive. And if you take a break, if you put video, I mean, we've like our channel, like the subscriber numbers down by half because we stopped putting out as many videos. It's kind of wild. So it's like, wow. And then the content you put out at the bar is getting raised.
Yeah.
So I would be more mindful of every second, like literally every second. And then in terms of your overall content, can I give you feedback on that?
Yeah.
So the overall stuff that you're talking about, I think that's actually pretty good for the video. I mean, there are only other 2 observations I noticed from this video before I talk about your content in general, if you don't mind. One, so
Never miss an episode. My name is Dan Bennett.
so a few things, excuse me. Number one, you're asking for subscribe at the end. Most people don't make it to the end. Most people literally like 20 to 30% drop off in the first 15, 20 seconds. And then by the end of the video, you have like 30 to 40%. So I would put your subscribe ask generally a little bit earlier. Hold on.
Next time.
All right. The other thing you're not doing in the videos is that you need to add end cards. So you ever watch YouTube videos that are like, hey, if you like this video, watch this or do that or subscribe here. You can go into each video and add an end card.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to starting to do that because we just kind of like now have enough videos to actually point to other ones. So I definitely am. I'm new to that, but I'm looking into doing it for sure because I want to be able to retain some folk. Yeah,
so I would definitely just add those end cards. You can do them on the video section. The last thing that I'm observing is YouTube. You get YouTube rewards people that keep people on YouTube. So your channel and your content right here this is a 3-minute and 50-second video. If you look at some of the top channels, like we went over the video. So like, and guys, if you have other comments, please leave the comments. So if you watch like Legal Eagle or some of these really like, Ali Abdaal, Thomas Frank, some of the ones that are, kind of similar to what you're talking about, most of their videos now are like 20 minutes. So it's 20 minutes of pretty fucking great stuff. So I would experiment on your channel, try and stuff. Most of your videos some of them are longer, but some of them are like, that was a 3-minute video. So I would kind of be experimenting with, all right, let me do longer videos versus these shorter videos and just see which ones are actually getting you better results.
Yeah, that'll be super interesting. I actually have a video coming out next week that pushes up more around the 20, and it's a different format. So it'll be fun just to juxtapose that as well. Fun fact too, just to get out in front of everyone. I do like tutorials, and I call them hurry it up because it gets right to the point. So someone can just watch the video,
Which
learn the
one's
thing. The playlist is hurry it up.
But which video is that recently?
Currently, like the one where I'm holding the brain and it goes over to the light bulb.
This one?
In the middle top.
All right, so taking a step back for everyone who's watching, and then I'm going to open up in about 5-10 minutes, and we'll go over everyone's questions. I want to give you props for doing it. It's very easy to kind of sit on the fucking sidelines and talk shit. I call it the seagull theory. The seagulls fly in, they shit, and then they fly away.
I like that.
It is very hard to put out consistent content over a very long period of time. So I hope you recognize that and, you know, give yourself some credit.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just so you know, I'm not just saying this. Like, I'm thrilled to be doing this right now. Like, this isn't me getting beat up. This is me, like, I have other people giving me information because it's just me. And also because I'm an editor, I see the video we just watched in chunks. And you're not saying, hey, you did a bad job. You're saying, hey, take that chunk and move it up front, and then take this chunk and get rid of it. And so I can see that and be like, oh yeah, I could totally do that next time. And
then honestly, if you, I mean, I think your thing is way too fucking broad, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because like,
and I think there's a difference. If Casey Neistat and these like super, like, everyone loves talking about Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe is not normal. You can't talk about that.
Yeah.
But to get to that level, you have to be more narrow, and your stuff is just like, you want to do an interview with someone else, right? So this is an interview. Then you have social media. Then you have film editing. Then you're talking about mics. And so I guess the question is, are you trying to, so here's something, and this is really important. Are you trying to do this as a hobby, or are you trying to do this as a profession?
As far as YouTuber, quote unquote, and I like doing that. It is currently falling more on the hobby side because it's fun to do. I would like to grow an audience and make money off it. But what I am putting out and why it's so broad is the things that I'm really good at in real life, which is digital media, which is super broad. So I'm picking things I know well enough to just make a video about and get out so I can get rolling. But I'm definitely not niching it yet. And I totally agree with you. And I'm not stuck, but I'm currently in a phase of like, what do I want to niche down to? What do I want to focus hard on? Because I do know a whole bunch about a whole bunch. So I'd like to, you know, really focus down. And storytelling, story development with clients is at the heart of everything I've ever done. So I'm starting to lean more toward that. But yeah, again, a lot of these things come from not wanting to try and figure it all out before I started, but just get started.
Yeah. I ask about professional versus hobby because I think a professional is someone, if you look at the guys who do end up making this their career and full-time income, it's very intentional. Like, they're not trying a lot of, they're basically doing like stuff they know works and then experiments. You're doing all experiments and very less and less. You're doing the opposite. So if it's like, you know, the 80-20 rule, you're doing the 20. So the 80 is like, hey, I know this works, experiment with 20. You're experimenting with the 80 and then doing 20 that works. So for you, it's like, which content is people resonating with?
Usually anything around quick wins and how to run your business a little bit more efficiently. The other thing too is I film my podcast and I host that here. So a lot of these videos are podcast episodes, which is mixing in and making it even harder for you to tell what the hell I'm trying to do. You know, but like, using this mic for Zoom or thinking outside the box, those things I've gotten feedback outside of YouTube as well. Like, hey, thanks for that quick win. I was able to go get that mic cheap and now my Zoom calls are better and stuff like that. So usually quick wins for small business.
Yeah. So the way that I'm going to recommend it to you, I think you just need to figure out what are your series. Because right now you're doing a bunch of shit and it's like some of it's not working and you're having fun with it, which is great. And if you're like, hey, I don't care if this grows, then do those. But if you're actually saying, hey, I want to make this into a business, I think you have to be more intentional about, hey, these podcasts, ones, if they're not growing, then I would remove it. If it is working in your channel, then keep doing those. So for our channel, for instance, like, I know that I have my own internal conflict because a lot of the content that I know that my audience wants, I don't want to do. I don't want to talk about passive income. I don't want to talk about how to start businesses all the time. And so I struggle with that as well, because that's what the audience wants. But now it's like, all right, well, what do I want to do? And the audience wants. So for our channel, we've noticed that, like, I'll show you. Just give you kind of an idea. Like book reports, we do these book reports that I just kind of talk and then we edit out the book reports. Those do really well. Stuff where I'm talking about therapy or biking that are just very kind of broad, no one likes. They just don't, which is okay. But things like, so now we're figuring out what are our series. So the series that we're experimenting with is books. That works really well. I read a lot and I just talk about it now. And I always do book reports regardless. And I like what you're doing. You're saying, hey, what videos am I going to make for free? Which I love that you're doing that. Another series that we found works is like what software that our company uses. And so it's just kind of like, what are the different topics? Like this one is, let me just show you how to start different businesses. And so it's like, all right, let me just make these series of things. So we call it FFR, fast, fun, and repeatable. And so, yeah, so some of you guys, and I love it, like some of the videos, which is great. And I do appreciate when you guys watch them and comment. That makes, and my mom is reading the comments. She's like, look at them, they're commenting. But it's also having to be mindful. Like the therapy one is, it takes a lot of work and it's a lot of scripting and then production around it, versus like a book one. I'm like, hey, here's a book, here's why I like it. And I can do that over and over and over and over. So I would like for you to be thinking about that with your channel. How can we find more content that is really fast, fun, and repeatable? Because right now it's just all over the place.
Agreed.
And I think because I'll tell you, you know what feels good? Fucking growing.
Right, right. Which, funny enough, is actually happening with this being so new. And like, we're approaching 50 subscribers. We're getting more watch time for the last 28 days than we've ever had. Ever had. So even though those are tiny little things, I'm so stoked about them because they've never happened before. And so it does feel good. And I would obviously like to hone in and continue that momentum. And I like on my trailer for the channel, I say I got my 3 E's: education, empowerment, and hopefully a little bit of entertainment. That's really what I want to do. I want to give people quick wins. I want to share what I already know so they can save some time. The whole 1 minute media thing that I do for clients is like, here's a way to make your own video because you can't afford to go hire a production company. Everything's about, here's a crowbar, go leverage some stuff.
If you could only, so Rui said this and I like it, which is if you could only do like 3 different topics, what would they be?
Topics. Well, videos at the forefront of everything I've done for the last 5 years. So how to create videos, especially how to create your own. And I don't mean become a videographer. I mean a business owner learning how to create really great video by themselves so they can afford to do it up front. And I'm from Flint, Michigan, and we've had hardships for a long time. And there's a lot of businesses that can't afford even someone like me, another small business, to come and do content development and stuff with them. So I want to empower people. So one is definitely how to leverage video. Another one, even though it does stay broad, it's just those quick wins. If I can tell you about a piece of software I use or a mic I use or whatever, and just say, here's a quick win, this might help you do better business or save some money. And then the third one is storytelling. It always comes back to storytelling, which I've never done videos around that, but I would love to start teaching people how to develop story, because business is often so black and white that people think story is foo-foo. And it's really not. It's super powerful. And I know it's cliche to say story right now, but we actually do develop story with people behind the curtains, and it works. So,
all right. So everyone who's watching that wants to support Dan, go subscribe to the Antipreneur. It looks like a lot of people are supporting you and excited in the comments, which honestly makes me feel really nice. It feels good that everyone wants to come together. I think what I'm still kind of noticing from you is that you're still a little resistant to some of the professionalism. That I think is what separates someone that is at these, like, you know, the Evan Carmichaels, who a lot of people know, or the Casey Neistats. Like these guys, some of them are, you know, obviously on the higher levels. But I think, you know, where you could take it is, I actually think you need to be a little bit more narrow in the content you're making.
Yeah.
You know,
this is one of those things where, like, I really wouldn't take the pill. No, you're right. And I wouldn't take the pill if it was available to me, but I would look strongly at the pill if I could just take it and know what to do next. And I don't even mean all the steps. I just mean, you know what would really work, kid? Just double down on the story development, because people don't know how to do that. Make videos about that.
Do you have like because right now it doesn't seem, you don't seem very intentional about the content planning. And I wonder if you actually just mapped out, like, all right, here's the next 3 weeks of videos, or all of from here until the end of November. Here's all the videos I want to do. Have all the titles, have all the categories. And then you'll start noticing like, oh wow, it's all over the freaking place.
Yeah.
And then with
Wait,
some of these videos, like I got excited when you said, hey, I'm going to show normal people like Kevin, me and you are normal because we're humans. We're not robots yet. But I'm going to show people who it's just one person and has a business how to make better YouTube videos. But like your videos don't do that. It's like best free social media scheduling tools 20. It's like, are you the best? Like, let me ask, are you going to be the best guy to tell them about that?
No.
Are you going to be the best at actually helping normal people? I would say like starting make videos like you. Yes, you will kick everyone's ass. I could never compete with you on that. But like you have align one object to a key object illustrator. Is that so? Here's a question that Jeremy and our team always ask me. He's like, no, is this for the underdogs or not for the underdogs? That's what we call everyone who participates here. So is this for someone like Kevin and me? So I would say I'm a normal video maker. Like I suck at this stuff. So we hire people. But is this for a normal person?
Technically, no.
The answer's no. I'm going to mute you. The answer's no. Okay, good. What is the best mic for Zoom? Is that for a normal startup person?
Yes.
Good. How to remove object in Premiere Pro?
No.
Okay. Some of these, and I think this is where you're doing these interviews, which is great to do. And I think now you've gotten more into doing the solo content, which honestly is hard. I think you know that too. It's like, it's fun, but it is a challenge. And so I think I would try to pick what are my 3 FFRs, my 3 fast, fun, and repeatable series that I can just keep, that you enjoy and your audience resonates with.
100%. Yeah, I wish I could show you like my month worth of content because it is extremely organized. But
why don't you show it?
It's I can attempt to, but it is still high level, exactly what you're saying, all over the board. So I'm laughing to myself as this is happening because it's so funny that even though I'm organized, I'm not narrowed down. So
this is like, so hey, everyone who's out there that's an individual entrepreneur, solopreneur right now, what are some of the videos that you'd want to watch so that we can help make a list for Dan? And Dan, I'll pull up I'll create a Google Doc so that you can actually put your list on there. We can check them out. But where we posted this one, we did this last week. I'll post another Google Doc. I think this will be actually helpful. Like video editing on a budget without looking cheap.
Yeah.
That is, dude, I would want to watch that.
Yeah, which I do with people all the time. So yeah, makes sense.
Here, guys, I'm going to post a Google Doc. And then I'm curious kind of the video topics, the video topics that you guys. Ooh, this is, dude, you guys have awesome questions. Oh, is Niels out? Niels is leaving? Bye, Niels. All right, so I posted this. So topics, Dan, the entrepreneur can do. So I think it is important. It's like, who's the audience? Solopreneurs. Someone's met. So the other thing I'm going to try to do here is just make it a little bit more structured, Dan. So it's going to be like title, guess topic or category. I'm going to delete this row. All right. Yes, I always like when I end up doing these. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. It just makes it a little bit more tangible. So I like the one that Rui. So guys, post it. Donuts are pretty good. I haven't had a donut in a long time. I was like, I felt like a donut today. You guys, can you post them in that doc I put?
This is exciting because I'll totally go knock these out too.
Well, I think it's interesting for people like, oh, that's interesting. Man, these guys have really good, you guys have awesome video suggestions.
Yeah, I haven't been able to see all the comments. I'd love to be able to go back through.
Yeah, I'll read them out. So Dustin Lee is how to hire a good, oh yeah, now they're doing it.
Cool.
And then Dan, let me put a link to your video.
Then I shared my Trello board too. If that.
Where'd you put it?
I just shared my screen. Looks like it's in the green room or backstage.
Oh, holy crap.
So it's super organized, but it's still life, business development, creative. So it's not narrow at all, but I got it that far of like, we got the entrepreneur show and then these 3 topics. Let's make videos.
I think the big thing that you're doing that most people aren't is that you're doing.
Yeah.
So this is the law of 100 that I've talked about in other videos, which is like you started, and now between here and your 100th video and beyond, it's like, all right, let me keep getting the topics better, the titles better, the thumbnails better. Let me cut down the intro stuff that's a waste. Barry Eisenbaum. Shabbat shalom, Barry. Oh, this is good. Dude, Rui, your business should be coming up with videos to do. Best video editing software and tools under 100. I'm going to put that in the doc. Rui, put that in there.
Bald and beards unite. I love it.
So I'm putting category because I think it makes it easier to start seeing that like he has no categories. So it should be like video editing, video production. Wow, you guys are going nuts on this. That's cool. I'm gonna just kind of get my donut and just.
This is everything I hoped it would be, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I don't.
Dude, Sebastian has a good idea. You guys put this in that Google Doc so that all of you guys can look at it and copy it for yourself. Entrepreneurs that grew their business using videos, I love that. One of the videos that we did this week that was really fun, I'm excited to do, that was fast, fun, and repeatable, that's our system, was 5 weird YouTubers making money. And it's like, oh, I just went and found 5 channels that I watch and be like, I can't believe they make full-time living doing YouTube. And it was like, basically one is a tow truck company, one is fish tanks, one is Rastafarian cooking. And it was like, oh, I could do those kind of videos all day long if they work.
Yeah.
And so I like this topic here where it's like businesses that grew doing videos, because you could do a series where you're always showing new companies, new people making money through their videos.
100%.
Also, Aaron Kim is jealous of us. Aaron Kim looks like he could do a strong bench press though, doesn't he?
He is a strong looking feller.
He really is. He looks like he's into CrossFit.
Halloween's coming, Aaron. You could buy a beard.
Oh, true. We could have like the Noah Kagan Dan Halloween costume, bald and bearded.
Yes.
All right, what is up, Julio? So if you guys are late to the show, this is Dan from the Entrepreneur YouTube channel. And so here's what's really interesting. There's 2, for me, Dan, what's interesting, the channel is for blah. And I think that's actually where there's a disconnect on your channel, which is the channel is for every small business person out there versus, hey, I teach solopreneurs how to make better videos. I teach solopreneurs how to grow their business with video. I'm like, that's fucking fire to me.
Yeah.
That's what resonates to me. All right, Anna, I'm reading your stuff. I can't watch and type in the doc at the same time, but I have trouble making sure I plan out videos so I don't spend forever editing.
That's huge.
Ooh, interesting. I'm going to show you, Dan. How much are you planning out your videos?
I script everything. Not script like teleprompter script, bullet point, but I script it all.
Okay. I wanted to show how we're doing it just to kind of give some people an example. I think it'll be interesting for a few. So this is the video that we worked on this week. So we have, I don't know how many, this is like 7, 8 titles. And it started out as a Google Note, but I'm just going to show it to you guys as here, I'll share the doc so you guys can copy our, I don't want to let you guys edit it because you guys fuck with this stuff. All right. But here's like a template that you guys can use from how Jeremy, who's our producer, he's amazing. He does all of our videos. He does all of our scripts. So like video scripting. Fuck. I lost my access to it. Oh, that's funny.
I threw mine on screen. I'm looking at yours. I'm like, this is hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, I was going to try. I can't edit it anymore. All right, but so yeah, title. hook, channels. And then I think that was one thing I was kind of mentioning to you, which is putting your, hey, here's the subscribe thing. Hey, here's my, at the end of it, you want to say, hey, here's my next videos. Go to AppSumo for a teleprompter deal. That's funny. So by the way, I want to check out just in the last thing, and then I'm gonna open up the questions. We're gonna watch Mr. Beasts. He's like one of the most popular YouTubers. Everyone knows him. I want to watch like one of his like intros just to kind of give us some comparison about how he's doing his videos. All right. You guys ready for this? Because I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Is this on? Yeah. So let's see how the first 20 seconds of his videos is compared to yours.
I'm about to ask somebody one of the most ridiculous questions ever. Would he rather have $100,000 or one of the most rarest diamonds on the planet? But the $100,000 on this check will be covered up. Let's see what he picks. You are about to make one of the most important decisions of your entire life.
All right. So if I stop the video right here, would everyone kind of be disappointed not to know what happens? I know I want to know. You guys want to call them? They want to call them to vote on your. So if you want to call them to vote, vote on it, dude. Add a column. Let's add a column. All right. So, anyways, but Dan, do you see how in his video, there's no difference between him and you. The only difference is like his production is like this is compelling, that this is entertaining.
Yeah.
They want to know. He seems like a dick. I don't know. They want to see people have a taco eating contest. Mike, I agree. I might actually do it with one of these food YouTubers, do a taco contest. Anyways, so you see how like in the video, his 20-second one, he's got a 15-minute video. His first 20 seconds are like, I don't even know what is he talking. What happens afterwards? Oh, and then it's a bunch of like games and shit. Yeah. All right. So you get my point on that one?
100%. Yeah. And it's funny too, because I know his history and he just tried stuff and then something worked and he's like, ooh, I had fun doing that and it worked. And then he narrowed way down. So like, it obviously works to narrow down and do what people are really interested in.
I would just copy that. So Dan, you have feedback on your videos. You have topics that solopreneurs it's awesome that the underdogs, everyone who's in this community wanted to give a lot of suggestions. And then we do have a group, by the way, okdork.com/group. If you guys want to talk to each other and help each other out. I'm just kind of going through some of these video ideas, man. These are cool. I'm going to pull it up right here. And then I want to open it up for questions, just for people's personal questions. This definitely went longer, but this was way better than I thought it was going to go. It was awesome.
Yay. Yeah, this is fun.
How to add boxes, pictures, how to create it. I like that. When to outsource, how to hire a good editor. Ooh.
Yeah.
Some of these you've done. How to find good stock video footage. Use Canva enough for thumbnails. Yeah, it's interesting. All right. So yeah, you guys, by the way, I posted that doc in the comments. If you guys want to leave some comments about the content that Dan should make. And Dan, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Like you're doing a good thing for the people, which is taking a not shiny look at this new thing approach to helping people out. And that's what I'm all about too. So this is a blast.
I dig it, dude. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your upcoming. When's the next video that based on all this feedback? Can you take one of these videos and then maybe next, I don't know if it'll be by next Friday, but if you could take one of these videos and then do it based on some of the feedback that everyone gave you.
100% you'll have one next Friday.
Before next Friday. All right, come back next Friday. We'll do office hours. I'll bring you on. Thank you for coming on and letting us emoji all over you.
No, I loved it, man. Thank you again. And keep doing what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, bro. All right, guys. Moved in. All right, so we have about, I got about 15-ish minutes. So thank you, Dieter, Matt Payton, all of you sexy bastards. So what questions do you guys have about your own? Everyone, by the way, give Dan some props, some love. I'll put his channel again into the YouTubes of the world. I'll put it in the comments section as well. But yeah, by the way, give Dan some love. That was awesome. It was really great to see someone who's amazing to how to make videos, but I think he's like, you have to adjust it for the medium. You know, there's some people like, I think Tim Ferriss is an interesting example. Everyone knows him. His YouTube channel is not the biggest. It's not. Why? Because that's not his medium right now. His medium is writing and podcasting. So it's really interesting to think about that. Everyone's giving you props, Dan. And thanks for showing the bald head. It's part of the team. Casey, yeah, bald is beautiful. Ugh. Dustin Lee, Dan, we got you. Want to see you succeed. Anna is awesome. Gonna listen to some of your podcast. William, awesome. Sweet. All right, guys, I got about 10 more-ish minutes, 15-ish minutes. What questions do you guys have? What's going on with you? And then we'll end our show how we normally end our shows. We're gonna pick one person, by the way, who is the most engaged. I think Anon. Anon, you were super engaged today. Send me an email, jeremy@okdork.com. I'll add you to our private Slack group. Dan, are you in it? Dan, email jeremy@okdork.com. You and Anon. I think Anon, it's vid results. Jeremy@okdork.com. You'll join our private group where we sell you a $20,000 a year mastermind. we don't do that shit. But yes, email jeremy@okdork.com. I'll add you to the Slack group. Actually, Aaron Kim as well. You were super active today. Email Jeremy as well. All right, guys, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'll answer whatever questions you guys have. How do I make a welcome autoresponder with useful content when I sell products for 4 different types of software? Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity, Procreate. Let's go look at, I'm gonna just show my autoresponder. I think the thing with autoresponders is it really needs to be around a goal. So for appsumo.com, which I think a lot of you guys are familiar with, our goal is revenue. So it's like email per send. So how many emails do we send? How much money are we making per, generally it's on 1,000 basis. So per 1,000 emails sent, how much money are we making on the autoresponder? For something like that, I think it's the same thing. The way that I've tried to structure it, I'll show it to you. My autoresponder generally, I think right now it's like go subscribe to YouTube, and then I'll show it to you. So I use sendfox.com. I think a lot of you guys know that. I think Dan was using that as well. So our automation right now, the way that I've structured it is what's my number one thing is YouTube. That's my number one goal. So I put everyone to say, go subscribe to YouTube right here in the email. So let's check this out. Basically, I think it has like, here's my most popular 3 videos and then go subscribe. The next email is, this is technically just to be how we think about it. This is a purchase email. So first one is YouTube. Second one is AppSumo, which is how it's our main business. So it's, hey, go check out AppSumo. We used to give credit, but then people started cheating it. 3 is, can I promote people? So if you guys have, like Dan or you have had any success, we say, hey, let us know so we can promote you. 4 is connect with me on LinkedIn. So again, a lot of this is, I don't know what the formula is. I think a lot of it is, what are you trying to accomplish? And sometimes I think if you just try to sell right away, it's kind of a weird thing. So I've tried to balance that out with giving stuff to make sure that the audience is actually getting real. I hate when people say value, because what is that? It's what am I actually giving that the person receiving it is excited about? And then I would try to put a product in the autoresponder. I think the thing with you, if it's really broad, try to find out earlier who the audience is, Dustin, and only just do whatever one is the most popular, or probably the most broad would probably be a little bit more effective. Alex, what's up, man? Starting YouTube channel here. Super specific topics make sense. Would you do blog, Facebook, Instagram to cross promote? No. So let me show you guys this. This is actually pretty interesting. 90%, 80% of YouTube videos come from YouTube traffic. Look at this new banner. What do you guys think of this new banner? I think it doesn't look so good, man. Mitchell and our team took the initiative to add the new banner. Man, looks bad. So by the way, Dustin, if you're worried about people leaving on your autoresponder, just look at your opens, clicks, and unsubscribe rates on it. Those are all adjustable. So if you're seeing people are leaving from it, you can always go change that. So in YouTube, let me just go over the channel stuff. Is that going? All right. So in YouTube, 80 to 90% of your traffic comes from YouTube. Our videos lately not been doing fire. We're working on it. So if you actually look at I think it's reach. If you look at your videos, so look at this. Almost 50% of this video came from YouTube. Some of the other, that one I did email out. But what I've observed from our YouTube stuff is YouTube's number one, Email list is number 2. And then you can experiment with like social media or LinkedIn or these other places. But honestly, it hasn't moved the needle for us. So really it's how do I make amazing content that YouTube will then bestow an audience for me. You can post it on all these places. I just wouldn't spend that much time on it. And if you actually look at how much a difference it actually makes for you, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. We can look at like another video just to kind of give you another example. Let's look at this video. Reach. So this video as well, 65% of our traffic comes from YouTube. So it's not to say that it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. That's just the reality. So should you be doing email? Yes. To say, go check out my video. Should you be posting on social? Yes. But the majority of your time and focus should be on the title, the thumbnail, and the actual video itself and getting the promotion through YouTube. Is blogging the only way to improve SEO? I haven't really focused on SEO personally. I know at our blog on AppSumo, we focus a lot on SEO. I mean, if you think about what is SEO, right? It's getting traffic from Google. There's basically 2 ways that Google, it's like content and links. If we had to break it down to its most simplest form. And so, yeah, I would just keep blogging. That's it. Just like basically I think what's interesting about SEO and YouTube and these different things we're working on is what's in your control. Can you control getting backlinks? No. Can you control giving you more Google Joes? No. You can control writing. You can 100% control your writing. So I think with Dan who came on earlier or Alex who was talking about his YouTube channel, you can control how many YouTube videos you put out. I think the only other thing I would be mindful of is go and actually think about how are you promoting your video? How are you promoting your blog posts? A lot of people like Dan, I would bet a lot of money, Dan puts out his video and then he just prays. Dan, is that true? He does this. He puts out his video and he goes, please, God, give me an audience. Give me those views of random ass people. Dan, I'm bringing him on for a second. Dan, how much are you actually going out and promoting your videos?
I push hard on all my other platforms. Those platforms are small, but I push hard and schedule all my stuff, structure all my stuff.
No, I don't believe you. What do you mean you push hard?
Schedule everything. I make like little audio animated tidbits of my podcast so people know what's coming. I put videos not only from YouTube, but direct to platforms so they can do a little better on LinkedIn and stuff like that. I push pretty hard. Oh,
but then you don't have, and this is not an insult, but you don't have many views. So that's stuff. So my point for you is that it's not working, but you're doing it because you think it should work.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is stop doing stop wasting all your time on that. I mean, your videos are already great. We're going to tighten them up. But I actually think it's like try more the email list or just direct texting or messaging people with your videos, especially now.
Yeah. Email started at the same time as this, so it's small, but I'm so intrigued and want to do it the right way because that's the real estate you own, right? So, yeah.
I think a lot of people they think that's the problem. Not thinking is bad, but they think there's the post on social media, the blogging, all that stuff. And then they don't actually look at the numbers on YouTube, which they show you. I just pulled them up. They're like, oh, yeah, it's not actually moving the needle. So it's stopping that shit and really moving it to like, we don't post our videos on Instagram anymore. We almost barely, I think only post on Twitter and LinkedIn, but really it's the email list and YouTube is the majority of the traffic.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, Dan. All right. Vanessa Flores, does it matter what people think of you when you post and what they like, or does it matter what you like? I think the ideal scenario is the Venn diagram, is the concentric circles, which is things I like or you like, and then things that other people like. And then that little place in the middle is where you need to live. Because if it was me, I really enjoyed the video I put out recently on therapy. I enjoyed the one I made about mountain biking, but no one outside of our core audience, which I appreciate, it doesn't expand the amount of audience. And yeah, it is interesting to be able to reach more people. It's appealing. So I think you have to figure out where that lives. If you start a business that no one wants, it's not a business. Another example of that recently was my brother. I wanted to start a business to show my brother how to start a business. And he creates this thing called Horse Cum. And his Horse Cum stuff, I posted it on my Facebook page. And he makes it. Basically, it's ultra endurance powder. The interesting thing about this ultra endurance powder is that not many people actually buy that stuff. So I posted it. Let me see if I'll show you on the screen. Oh no, don't. There it is. So I posted it here. I just made this Facebook page. It's a video coming out. And I only had 8 comments. So there really wasn't a lot of demand for it, for this product, versus like a few weeks ago, excuse me, I posted about dogs. Fucking everyone has dogs. I was like, what the fuck? And so I think the thing about that is, it's kind of to your point, is I could go work on the brother's business, which it's interesting and he likes it, but no one fucking really wants it, or at least people I know. And so you have to find, all right, dogs. Oh, there's someone. So I think that's the same thing with creating content or business in general. It sounds horrible. I'm sorry, I know his brother. It's fine. Horse Cum is basically ultra endurance powder. He does it. That's all he drinks when he does 20 or 50 mile bike rides. And he's a doctor, and so he formulated it himself, all this stuff. But it's not that it can't work and he can keep iterating. He doesn't want to start his own business really, but it's also, what does the consumer want, which is just as important. Yeah, so Anna, I'm just going to repeat what she says, is that if you're trying to get bigger on YouTube, focus on YouTube. When we started this year out, we were doing YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook, all these fucking things. So I think you have to pick what one platform. Is it going to be TikTok? Is it going to be your blog? Is it going to be YouTube? Is it going to be your podcast? And just double down on that. And so I like that, Anna. And then I think where Dan can really spend his time more effectively is which other channels really move the needle for that. Because what I found out is my blog, if I post on okdork.com, it does not help the videos really. The only thing that really helps is YouTube and the email list. And so just being more mindful of how much other time you're spending on these other channels. All right. Thank you, Anna, for sharing that. Philip, accept the kind of clients I'm not thrilled to work with. I think you know the answer to that by posting that. Do I have to accept the clients I'm not thrilled to work with? No. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. Philip, if you had the amount of money you think you need to live whatever life you want, would you want to take them as a client? The answer is probably not. If you have to live shit like that, I'd probably take it. But I think it's really interesting to live your life as if you don't. And then it'll open you up to find ones that you actually do like. At least that's my take. Yeah, so Kevin, just to highlight, without Kev, he said he's done a lot of videos and he posts them everywhere, but it doesn't get any views from them. So stop posting them on those other places and just work on making more videos. Not even necessarily more, but just keep improving the quality of those videos. Yeah, if you're going through Philippine, I think what's interesting, Rui, thanks for sharing, rejecting some clients. I think it's interesting what you don't like about these clients, and what is it about the clients you do like. That's why I don't do consulting, because I'm like, man, people never do exactly what I tell them to do. So I just don't want to, and I don't need the money. So I'm like, well, don't want to do that. So I think it's great, honestly, that you say no to some of these clients. All right, questions, man. It's Friday. People will be chilling. Yeah, so I think with Gary, I think what's the problematic when you look at someone like a Gary Vaynerchuk or Tim Ferriss or Joe Rogan or Casey Neistat or Mr. Beast is that you can't compare yourself to. It's not even comparing you can't compare what they do versus what you should do. You can't go and say, well, they're posting it everywhere, I should go post it everywhere. I think what's fascinating about business is actually understanding the why of things. So I would say, oh, they're doing it, let me try it out. But I literally just showed you guys, if you look at the stats from all these channels, almost none of them were driving traffic to the YouTube video. 70-80% of the videos comes from YouTube giving it traffic. And so I think if you want to be a dumbass, go copy Gary and do everything that he does, or try to even figure out how to spell his name, which fuck knows I can't. But I would copy it and then see what works and then go evolve from that, right? So you copy his stuff, go look and say, oh, wow, no traffic is coming from anything. From our email list, I'll show you guys. When I send an email, I can see that we get 1,000 clicks to the video. Here, I'll show it right here. So then I'm like, oh, video, email list, good. But I go look at external traffic. It says LinkedIn, almost no percent. Email list, bad. Man, these emails, some of these look like spam. Just some of the titles. So you can see this is an email we sent. Let's look at the clicks on it. So 2% clicks. It's actually not that good. I don't think a 2% click through it's actually that effective. 1,000 clicks. So not super bueno, not super bueno at all. But point being is that like 1,000 people, which I appreciate going to check out the video, is a lot higher than the 1 or 2 that come from Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the other places. That it's more about focus. And it's like, if I have so much time available, you have so much time and money available, focus it on the pieces that actually make the difference. What up, Sherman Matheson? You're very young to start a business, or you look very young, my friend, which I like that. How do you be the most effective as an entrepreneur? It's a very broad question, my man, but a nice emoji usage. I think what I've observed about, I'm reading this book called The Innovators. It's about the history of the computer. It's a really, really fascinating book. It started really boring, but it got awesome. And I love stories of technology and computers. I think what's really interesting about being effective as an entrepreneur from that book was that it was about Bill Gates when he was a child, was that they had just a very high level of focus. Like Bill Gates was like, I am going to figure out how to create the software for the Altair computer. And it was just like obsessive on that focus. I think what a lot of people do, like let's take Dan, who was on earlier, and this is not as an insult, Dan treats it like a hobby. And he's not extremely focused on how to make YouTube my profession. And if he was, it would be like, all right, well, what are the top YouTubers doing that I can at least experiment with, which is like, they have tighter topics, which we talked about. Then you look at their videos. It's like, all right, they're picking like their video production, besides having a lot more money and team, they're really entertaining to watch. And so to be effective as an entrepreneur, I think what I would high level say, just to kind of summarize it, is pick a very specific goal that has potentially a big market, but pick a goal for yourself. And then be very focused on what is effective towards that goal. As we talked about this YouTube stuff, we're like, oh, I should post it on my blog. I should do a tweet. I should do a TikTok. I should do all this stuff. And it's like, well, is that making a difference? No. Am I going to keep doing it? Yeah, sure. And I think that's why people aren't as effective as entrepreneurs. All right, you're going to have lunch. Bye, Dustin. Good to have you, man. Oh, wow. You guys are like helping each other in the comments. Well, I'm like rambling. Damn. All right, Philip. Sorry to hear that, man. But what do they say? One window closes, then you got to turn on the air conditioner. So I think, it's also a good lesson. Like if 100% of earnings came from one client, then it might have made sense to get 2 clients next time. So you're not as dependent that this one person is as controlling over the outcomes of your business. I think that would be the most mindful thing. Can I write a couple of your emails, copies to drive? Yeah. Email Mitchell at okdork.com, Sebastian. He's the one that puts together the emails. I'd love to be, we want to do that. So I'd be open to experimenting with different types of videos. I'm glad you like the jokes, Tony. It's because I had 2 donuts this morning. Focus is really, what's funny about this stuff, Anna? She just commented, focus is the most valuable skill practice. If you ever ask someone if they're focused, everyone says they're focused. That's what's always the funny part. Everyone's always, and like one of my favorite ones about white people these days is everyone's a minimalist. And then I go to their places and it's full of shit. I'm like, oh, but it's how we like to perceive ourselves. And so I think what's interesting about focus is what is the output that's actually happening here? And most of the time it's actually not as impressive or as, it's not to the level that I think people could do if they're actually were focused on things. And how do you know if you're focused? You're saying no to a bunch of shit. Why do I think 95% fail and don't make it as unicorn? I mean, a unicorn, the $1 billion valuation, I don't necessarily think that's the goal for every business owner. I think most businesses, frankly, fail because they stop. That's how you stop, right? You just have to keep going. That's literally the difference between the 95 and the 5 that make it. Like the only reason AppSumo's around is because we've just been kept doing it. One other thing I've thought about with AppSumo.com as our business is that we've kept our costs very low, right? Like we don't buy inventory. We have an office, which is fucking way over expensive, but we don't have to have that. And so it makes it easy if we need to adjust things that we can. So I think it's honestly, number one, you just keep going. And number two, I will say it's being in a market that's either growing or pretty sizable. I think a lot of people are picking really bad markets. They're like, oh, let me go do. A perfect example is the horse cum powder that I showed you earlier. Well, William, I like calling you Sir William McConnell. Doesn't he sound like he's in the Navy or Air Force? And so take my brother's stuff versus like this stuff. So this is LMNT electrolyte packet. Their new flavors I don't like. I don't like them. They had lemon habanero, and that was chocolate salt. It's pretty gross. But what I think is interesting is like horse cum ultra endurance powder and them could have started at the same time. But the reality is both of them can succeed if they just keep improving. Like, so no one wants the horse cum powder. All right, maybe they want something else for endurance. Maybe they want a bar. Maybe they want something else. And so it's finding that product versus these guys. It was a market that had a little bit bigger demand. Like, hey, do you want Gatorade? Do you want homemade Gatorade that's like less sugar? It's a bigger market, more appeal, higher demand. What's up, man? One in the orange jacket. I got to get going in about 5 minutes, y'all. Mainly interested in products than being in service. Any inputs? It's kind of I want to reach out to product service and work on their growth. Yeah, so go do that. I'm reading his question. He's like, I'm good at growth marketing. I want to reach out to people. Yeah, reach out. Like when I worked at, mint.com or even today, like I still reach out to companies. So like I reached out to these LMNT guys to work with them. I reached out to StreamYards, the people we do the streaming from. Reached out to circle.so. So when you reach out to someone, I think what's really interesting is like, why is it appealing for them? So I've been trying to get certain guests on this show because that really inspires me. And I think it's really beneficial for you. And the question is, why do they want to be on a show, right? Like, so why does someone want to be on anybody's show? And a lot of it is what's their goal? What's their motivation? And so you just have to work backwards from that. I think one of the things that, especially trying to do marketing for startups and products, how do you make it a no-brainer so there's no risk for them? So number one, just go do the marketing and bring them customers when you want to actually meet them. If you brought me a customer, you said, hey, no, I'm going to bring you 10,000 YouTube subscribers. I'll take a meeting with you. What a lot of people do is they say, hey, I want to show you stuff that I'm going to go do, which is fine too. But I think we actually just brought them the results and then use that as a way of opening up the meeting. I think it'd be really effective. Do I think certificates are worth it or not? No. A lot of people that are very successful in companies, let me give you another way. About half the people in Sumo Group, I think we have around 70 people, which I'm very proud of. I don't know where they went to school. It doesn't mean that there's not status and signaling that happen from a university degree. But for like these Google Ads, Facebook stuff, I would be way more impressed if you're like, hey, here's 2 companies, here's how much I spend, here's the ROI I did. That is way better than any certificate. Put it on a piece of paper and send me that. And that would definitely get much more of my attention. If you sent me a certificate or a piece of paper that's like, here's the ads I did, here's the budget, here's the ROI, that's going to get way bigger responses and results for you and your career than getting a certificate. I'd like more certificates. YouTube certificate. So how to reach out without being spammy for idea validation. A lot of times you should be reaching out to people that are already in your network or like okdirt.com/group, like people like this. If you're thinking it's spam, it's because you're sending it to people that don't want it. People are like, oh, how do I make it not spammy? Well, just don't make it spammy. So like, for instance, we had Dan come on earlier in the show and he's a video producer. And if Dan were to contact me and he says, hey, your videos look like shit, here's my video. If that's something it seems like it's important to you, I'd love to have a talk with you about it, or I want to talk with you about this kind of product or service, whatever it is. It's like, yeah, that's not spam. I'm fucking working on YouTube. You can see it. And it's something that spam is only when it's unwanted at the end of the day. And so if you're reaching out to someone that doesn't seem like they want it, then that's spam. And it's pretty straightforward because it is. That's why when people are like, hey, if I buy a list and then email them something they don't want, is that bad? I'm like, yeah. Someone yesterday like texted me and they're like, hey, I have questions about something at AppSumo. And I was like, well, like my number's not public for people to go do that really. And I think it's a little intrusive. And so I think it's just kind of being a little bit mindful of that. I think what I'd actually recommend in terms of solutions, Rochester Oliveira, by the way, you win for best name of the day, is what is in terms of the solution is like, how do you use your own network of people you already have access to or their referrals to do your idea validation? And I think it's a lot of people make it much more complicated on themselves. So I showed you guys about like my brother's horse cum, no one wanted it. Compare that. I posted on Facebook. It's not just Facebook, but you could do text messaging, WhatsApp, email, whatever it is. I posted a bike of mine to rent on Facebook Marketplace, and I got a bunch of people responding saying they want to rent it. So maybe look at places that are marketplaces like Craigslist, Airbnb, Hipcamp, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, and post your product or service in places where there's potential customers spending money. Yes. Dude, this is awesome. 100-day challenge. Yes, the law of 100. That is so awesome to hear. If it's your email list, whatever it is, just get to 100 of them, man. That's awesome. All right, guys, it is 1:30. The best marketing consultant advice I give to a client this week: sex sells. Just put the emojis in. What is on your shoulder? Is that a gun? Is it a water gun? Or is that a, what is that? It's a toy gun. Best business industries to start a business when you don't have any specific skills or experience. So if you have made it past the age of 18, you have some experience and skills in your life. It could be drinking water is your skill. It could be being an alcoholic. It could be phones. It could be planting. Everyone has a skill. That's bar none. Maybe it's video games. Maybe it's chess. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's, I'll just pull it up. Maybe it's bicycle repair. Maybe it's keyboards. Whatever it is, you have a skill. I think where a lot of people make mistakes in this entrepreneurship game is they watch a YouTuber or they read a blog post and the person did affiliate marketing or they create a Shopify store and the person goes on Alibaba, gets the product, spends probably about a few $100s or $1,000 and 2 months of time, and they have shit to start to show for it because it wasn't really something that they were interested in or that they really had a grasp of. It's not to say that that can't work. So my preference has always been like, what am I interested in? What skill do I have? So for me, I'm a promoter. I've always been a promoter. And so my business and my career has been built around that. So AppSumo, we promote software. This YouTube, I generally am promoting other people or things that we're learning at AppSumo. And so I would try to be a little bit mindful about what experiences you do have or what problems you can solve for yourself that other people are interested in. And try to focus more on that than just some easy or supposedly easy opportunity. And the other thing I want to be mindful of, so if someone's like Dan Bennett on YouTube or David for yourself, is that if you kind of start businesses, the two things you have to be mindful of with starting a business is that to make significant money takes time. And the problem is, like, I had a text from a friend 3 days ago. He's like, hey, how can I make $6,000 a month? And I was like, well, you can do that. It's just going to take 2 years. And that's not really appealing. That's not sexy. It's not what you want to hear, but that's what the reality is. Like, I make a lot of money, but that's also because it's, I don't know, maybe 12 to 13 years of businesses not working. Like the first year of this company of AppSumo was $0. And now it's over $1 million, but that also took 11 years. And so it's not bragging or anything. I'm just saying you have to also be patient, that it's not going to be immediate. And the other thing to be mindful of, so there's two pieces. One, it takes time. The other thing to be mindful of is that there's different businesses that have different levels of demand. So I've started many businesses that like instantly blew up. Like I've started probably, I don't know, Facebook games blew up, my Facebook payments thing blew up, AppSumo blew up, Sumo blew up. But I've showed you in other videos, like I've tried a lot of businesses that just didn't have a high demand right away. So that takes fucking forever. Yeah, it is a 10-year rule to make $1 million. So I think there's one part is it's going to take some time to make money if you're starting your own business. It just takes time. Secondly is that there's just different businesses like HorseCom, no one wants. If I put up products on at Facebook Marketplace, or like as an example, my buddy put up a listing on Hipcamp. It's like Airbnb for land. He put up a fake listing to see if anyone would want to stay at this land in an area who's looking to buy land. And guess what? He got a lot of demand for it. So he's like, oh, maybe I'm going to go buy land and put it on Hipcamp. My point there is that you have to be patient with it and also realize there's different demand levels for different business ideas. Thoughts on Fiverr? And guys, so we're going to end it in just a second. I'll finish with that question. What's up, James? Good to see you. It's good to see everyone today. So what are my thoughts on Fiverr? What's up, Noah Zimney? Dude, he's got the same name, and he's a good-looking dude. I like this guy. I like you, dog. Let's have barbecue. And I got to get going in a few minutes. Literally, I'm already like 50 minutes over. So my thought is on Fiverr is that if you are under the age of 25, I think it's great to go do. So I think Fiverr is a great chance to try a lot of different things out and maybe make some money. I think in terms of, I think of it like online dating, is that you're just a commodity. and it's very hard to distinguish yourself. It's very hard to make serious money on it. And lately, what I think about sometimes with all these things is, you know who the real winner in Fiverr is? Fiverr. Not the little commodity freelancers that now are just some screen name that you don't give a shit about. And so I think Fiverr is a good thing to get experience and practice on. But I think if you want to make serious money, you have to distinguish and differentiate yourself, probably through YouTube, probably through doing something more niche, probably doing something that like you're not just another screen name on that site. But I think in terms of practice and lead gen to start a business, I think it's great to do. All right, guys, it is now over an hour and a half. What I always finish with, if you guys have been these before, the way we always end these shows is, what is the one thing you're gonna do for yourself today? Here, hey, by the way, Hayes, don't wish for shit. Don't hope for shit. Don't pray. I mean, pray if you want, but don't wish for it. Go fucking make it happen. Like, I didn't hope I got rich. I just was like, oh, I want to do promotion of software deals. And then I tried so many fucking things over time. Don't wish for it. Don't hope for it. Make it happen. All right. So what is the one thing you guys, oh, RJ, what was your thing? What was your question, man? RJ, what'd you ask about getting a beard or something? RJ, I can't see your questions. I love you guys. Post the one thing you're going to do for yourself today. RJ, post your question again, and I'll look it up, and I got to rock out. Gonna eat what my grandmother made. Awesome. Philip, can you ask the client that you lost for referrals? Or can you go to their competitor and say, hey, I'm going to stop working with these guys and get a competitor, and I want to work with you. Secondly, try to get 2 customers. So if one tries to fuck with you, you're not screwed with them. How do I grow my beard? I don't know. I just stay alive. That's really what I'm doing every day. I stay alive and then wake up and it's a little bit bigger. And then the hair here goes away, you know, just every day, staying alive. All right. Going to the beach. Ruben's going to the beach. And by the way, so Noah, if instead of Fiverr and being like another commodity on there, why don't you try to help people that are in the OkDork underdog community here? Like, post here the things that you can help people with, or go look for them and do it for free to start, or charge. But I think you try to look at it in ways where you're not, I think with business a lot of times, look for ways where you're not playing fairly. You don't want to play fair. If you play fair, you're going to get the same results as all those other bums, but you're not a bum. Favorite niche markets, that's a whole big ass topic. Honestly, it's just what I'm interested in. I'm still interested in newsletters. I think there's a lot of opportunity on promotion with newsletters. I'm interested in cycling, so I think there's still stuff around cycling and products. I think community is probably going to be one of the bigger ones in 2021. So you'll see a lot of community software coming out. Ooh, hell yeah, Anna. Anna, what did you learn today that you're going to apply? And I hope you have a nice walk on the beach. Dude, Julio Medina is going to set up one. He looks very debonair. He looks like my lawyer. He's my international lawyer. He's going to set up SendFox. Dude, Anon, say no more often. I think that's honestly why my name starts with no. True story. How do I grow my beard, stay alive? Great show. You guys liked the show. I'm glad you guys liked it. Can you make a video on playing fair? Yeah, I think it's interesting about making videos that, like, I'm excited, that also other people be excited. Playing fair is a different discussion topic, but basically the idea is, like, if you're playing the same way everybody else is, you're going to lose. So when you're doing like a sale to a customer, how do you talk about something that they're like, oh, I don't know about that, or I'm not doing that. And that's like, you kind of just differentiate yourself on that. As well, playing fair, I think, is how do you guarantee the success? So instead of being like, oh, I wonder if we're going to hit our numbers, it's like, how do I guarantee that I'm going to hit our numbers? What other things? Oh, Jason Blake is going to have an early Canadian Thanksgiving. Awesome, man. Reading 4-Hour Workweek. Awesome. Great book. Dude, Roel, do 25 push-ups. I'm doing 50 a day right now. Awesome, man. Use the PushFit app on your phone. It's a great app to track those. Rui's going to go over Zoom key assignments. I'm having dinner with my best friend, his wife, and her parents. I think we're going to have some, I don't know if you can see it. I bought him Crown Royale. How do I get rid of that? Yeah, you can see the crown in the background. It's right there. Certain groups of people love Crown Royale. All right, guys. I got to get rocking. It's Friday. This pumped me up. Dan, good to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you next Friday. Do I speak Espanol? Sí. Yeah, I lived in Argentina for a while, but I'm not that great at Spanish. My Hebrew is where I study. All right, y'all have an amazing Friday. Shabbat shalom. Love every single one of you. Kevin's going to do some yoga. I love you, and I'll see you guys out there. See you guys next Friday. Yes, Dieter. Dan, thank you as well for coming on, man. All right, y'all. Peace.